directed the similarly star-studded Pret-a-Porter, Hero worshipped the director of tonight's picture, John Huston. There are parallels between the two men. Both saw themselves in the mould of Hemingway. Both drank, were accused of misogyny, left their first wives for the hard life. Both lived in Paris. After being a boxer, reporter and screenwriter, Huston debuted as a director with The Maltese Falcon. He joined the army in 1942 and made a pair of brave and intense documentaries which were banned for many years. He won 2 Oscars for The Treasure of the Sierra Madre and led Hollywood's resistance to the McCarthy witch hunts with his friends Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. After making The African Queen, he left America in protest of McCarthy and moved to Ireland. Altman's Hero directed The List of Adrian Messenger in 1963. It came the year after Huston did The Misfits with Marilyn Monroe and Clark Gable. The story was set in London, but he moved part of it, the climax, to Ireland so that he could build in a fox hunt sequence. Kirk Douglas, whose company Joel produced the film and who plays the lead, says it was this move to Galway which broke the momentum of the filmmaking and weakened the picture. He also takes part of the blame himself because, he says, he didn't have the time to focus on it. But he's undervaluing it, I think. As with Altman, I've never been a big admirer of Huston. I think he's more interested in ideas than movies, and his work isn't very visual. But he always knows a good yarn when he hears it, especially a fable with a touch of Kipling. This one's an old-style English whodunit, but with a twist. It was producer Ed Lewis who came up with the twist. Frank Sinatra, Burt Lancaster, Tony Curtis and Robert Mitchum all appear in disguise and only reveal themselves at the end. I can't think of another movie where this happens, and some people found it distracted from the mystery element. I think it's fun. It's fairly obvious which one is Mitchum, but the others are a tougher guess. Elizabeth Taylor was to play a hairy old male sailor, and Mitchum says that Sinatra didn't do his bit at all. He just turned up for the unmasking. Huston himself appears briefly near the end, and the boy in the movie is his son Tony, who would later write the film The Dead for his father, and who looks like his sister Angelica Huston. Tony recalls the filming as one of the few times that his father was physically affectionate with him. Huston gave a key role to Clive Brook, whose last film this was, and who worked with Dietrich in the 30s. And he brought Anthony Weiler, who'd written the Burt Lancaster picture The Killers, out of retirement from the antiques trade to script it. It's mostly an old-fashioned and very entertaining film, I think, though Kirk Douglas's speech about the evil is very John Huston, and the director's touch of cruelty in The Fox Hunt, which echoes the horse scenes in The Misfits, gives it a very dark edge.